Okay. So we're going to read an article that's about whether or not video games are good for kids. Now this is kind of like what we wrote about the other week, which is called an opinion. So opinions can be based on facts. Normally they should be. So this is an opinion of, I'm assuming, an expert, and we're going to find out if they think kids should do gaming or not. Yes, Ben. Your opinion's never wrong. I mean, yeah. As long as if it's based on reasons. Yes, as long as you have reasons, and the reasons can normally be based on facts. So yes, you're right. Okay. Leah, can you go to ELD? Leah, can you go to ELD? Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and read this story. So let's see what they think, if gaming is good for kids or not.
Gaming Good for Kids? By John Velez, The Conversation. Published April 12, 2021. Gamers, have you ever noticed that you're the first person to spot animals at the zoo? Or if someone drops candy on the ground, you know exactly where every piece landed? That may be because you play video games. Research has shown people who play video games such as Fortnite or Rocket League have higher visual acuity. This means they can keep track of multiple moving objects at once.
Okay, so they just gave us I should not hear
Not that game. I like that game.
One second. So when this is playing, when we're listening to the story, I should not hear other voices. This is not time for conversation with your neighbors right now. We're listening to the story. So if you have an opinion and you want to share it, you can raise your hand and I'd love to hear what you have to say, but I don't want you turning around to your neighbors and talking. So what this is saying is that those who play video games, Ebony, that needs to be closed. Thank you. York, that needs to be closed. Thank you. So if you play Fortnite or Rocket League or other video games, that you oftentimes have higher visual acuity, and it gives the definition of what that is. So that means that you can keep track of multiple moving objects at once. So this is actually something that's beneficial. Ben?
I think your thing turned off.
My thing turned off? What thing? No, that's okay that the screen's off. Don't worry about it. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see what else, if they list more positive reasons or more negative reasons, more pros or more cons.
They might even see things in the fog or rain that others cannot. It's one of the many benefits researchers like me have discovered about playing video games. You might know people who think video games are a waste of time or a negative force in your life. It might be worth showing them what the latest science has to say. Developing skills. When you keep an eye on your enemies, grab the best loot and change your inventory without even looking at the controller, you are essentially flexing your brain. Your brain loves challenges like this. It can actually grow from playing video games.
Oh, so that's interesting. It's saying your brain can actually grow from playing video games. Okay, I told you that needs to be closed.
That makes sense, right, guys? When we do hard things, it makes our brain grow.
Okay.
It is one reason why video game players make better surgeons. Some doctors even use video games to warm up before big surgeries.
Oh, so some doctors even use video games to warm up before surgeries.
Video games can develop other skills, too. For example, they can teach you to never give up, no matter how many times it takes to beat the final boss or reach the next level. The persistence you use in video games shows that hard work will help you achieve your goals, both inside and outside the video game. To succeed in video games, you can't just
So I want to stop and look at the word persistence. Does anybody know what persistence means? We can look at the context clues, so the words around it, and figure out what it means. What do we think persistence means? So if we read the sentence before, for example, they can teach you to never give up, no matter how many times it takes to beat the final boss or reach the next level. The persistence you use in video games shows that hard work will help you achieve your goals. What do we think persistence means? Novella? Yeah, so putting in effort, never giving up. So we can figure that out by looking at some of our context clues in our story. Good job.
just work harder. You have to work smarter, too. Beating the final boss or another really good player is not simple. You can't just use the same strategy over and over again. Instead, video games train you to solve problems by considering and trying different solutions. Think about your favorite games. They give you lots of different problems with multiple solutions. This makes you realize solving problems can be really fun. Playing video games can teach you critical thinking skills. Combined with hard work, they will bring you a lot of success. One of the very best things about playing video games is the friends, not just the new friends you make, but hanging out with your old friends, especially during times when you may not be able to see them at school or at their house. Video games provide friends that
So during coronavirus, that's an example of a positive thing about video games because we weren't able to see lots of our friends, but you can connect through video games. So they're giving some pros or some positive things about playing video games. Yes, Christian?
I actually played one of the games it mentioned.
Oh, really? That's
And
cool.
I used it when I didn't have anything to do in quarantine because I couldn't see my friends. So
Oh,
I used that game to play with like my old friends.
oh, to stay connected with your friends. That's cool.
Fortnite.
Yes, Serenity?
Back like when it was all COVID, and you couldn't really see your friends a lot, or anybody, or you can't do anything fun. Back you would have to get like people would get like consoles and games
Oh,
because
okay.
they had nothing to do but stay home at home.
Oh, yeah. Okay, playing games. That was a way to pass time. Yeah, exactly.
digital playground where helping and sharing is encouraged and often required, helping each other build the biggest and best fort, or reviving a teammate when they're down, strengthens friendships and can even help mend broken ones. That's because, even if it's just a game, teammates who help each other in video games are more likely to help each other in the real world and be more helpful towards strangers, too. Experiencing the benefits of being a team player teaches you the value of teamwork. This is something you can use for the rest of your life. If, however, you use video games to be mean to others, or let mean video game players stick around, you'll miss out on most of these benefits. Applying skills to real life. You can turn on a video game and quickly feel powerful, in charge, and popular, but it's good to remember games are a little like playing life on the easiest settings. Real life tends to be more challenging, but think about how you get bored playing a game on the easiest setting, and how it suddenly becomes fun again when you increase the difficulty.
So why might that be if you get bored playing a game on the easiest setting and how it suddenly becomes fun again when you increase the difficulty? Why do you think that might be? Miss Olson mentioned something about it. Serenity?
Because it's more challenging.
Yeah, so it's more challenging for your brain. So that's encouraging even when we're doing schoolwork and we might not get it right away. That means it's a challenge for us and we might have to put a little bit more effort, and that's okay because it's challenging our brain and it's helping our brain grow. Yes, Christian?
I also get challenged in Fortnite because I'm level 120.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
121, 122. So those levels are where people become smarter, and I play with people that have like a lot of wins and I play a lot and are really good.
Yeah,
And that challenges my brain of thinking.
yeah, awesome. Ben?
Sometimes when I'm mad, I just
Oh, okay, so it's a way for you to relax. Yeah, games and can definitely be a way to do that. Gabella, did you have a comment? No? Okay. So, some of the skills that you have learned playing video games, like perseverance or challenging yourself, you can apply that to different areas of your life, like even in school. So when something's tricky, that's okay that it's tricky. There's lots of things that will be tricky for us sometimes. But then we can just use some of the skills we've learned and keep trying and keep putting forth effort. Okay.
For the same reason, life can be more rewarding than video games. Take learning how to play an instrument, for example. I found that learning how to play a guitar is way harder and more frustrating than playing Rock Band on the hardest setting, but it's so much more fun to shred a guitar in real life than it is to play one on Rock Band. So enjoy developing your skills by playing video games, but also ask yourself.
So it's saying doing things in real life is actually more fun than doing things on your video game. So even though, and it's sometimes even trickier, but that's okay because doing things, so it's more fun to do things in real life than on your video game. Even though video games are fun, being engaged in real life is important and can be more exciting. Yes, Serenity?
And I feel like video games are better.
What?
I feel like video games are better.
Well, they're fun sometimes, but then we have to come back to real life. And a lot of times real life is even more exciting. Yes, Christian?
Sometimes, so every time when I get home after this, every part of school, like when I get out of school,
Mm-hmm.
I tell my aunt if she wants to come, like, play even though I'm older than the house. But I tell her if she wants to come over and sometimes she says yes, and then we both just play Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
And so we, like, get bored, which is at 9.
Very fun. Ben?
If I want to play games a lot, then my mom makes a rule where I have to take a screen break.
That's good. Yeah, taking screen breaks are important because if we're playing video games too much for too long, our brain gets tired and we need to come back to real life. So screen breaks are a good thing. That's a good thing that your mom does. Yes, Serenity?
Actually, I had to go to the doctor to get an eye appointment about for eyes and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked and then they said I need screen breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm putting the screen in my face a lot.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes it's important that we come back to real life and not always look at a screen. Even though there are some benefits to video games, there are some good things. But it's also important that we engage in real life too. Christian?
Yeah, it's the same thing kind of because whenever I'm trying the best I can, sometimes I break my bones, like my fingers, like my index finger.
Oh, they start to
And
hurt.
then I had to go to the like nurse, my regular nurse all the time. And then one time I had to go because I was looking too much and never had screen breaks.
So that's why
Because it was like
yeah.
it was summer break, so I would never get up and just go outside. I would stay.
That's
So
why.
then I got glasses.
Oh,
I'm not
good.
wearing them right now.
Yeah. So that's why it's good. We probably do it sometimes, but then other times we go outside, we go and play because that's just as important for our brain. Probably even more important for our brain and for our body to be moving and to be playing. That's just as important. So we want both. Ben?
Maybe I play games too much. I have to get glasses also, but I only wear them when I'm doing something close.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why sometimes we should take a break, right? That's a good thing that we have brain breaks and that we can spend time outside too. That's good. And in real life. Serenity?
So that means every time if you play a game, Among Us where you have to like help them find an imposter,
Uh-huh.
like that.
So you're saying that that's good, like when it's challenging like that?
No, I meant like does it like teach you?
So yeah, so it can teach you certain things, but then it can teach you like what we talked about before, how it can help with your eye coordination, and you can have higher visual acuity. So that means that you can keep track of multiple moving objects at once. But we want to do that only sometimes. And then it's also just as important for us to move our bodies and to go outside and to be in real life too. So yes, you can learn things, and there are positives, but we also want to learn things in real life too, and not just be stuck on our games always. Okay. And then the last sentence says, but also ask yourself, are you up for the challenges waiting for you outside video games? So there's even more challenges outside video games for us to grow our brain. So remember, this story was called Big Questions. Is gaming good for kids? So I want you to think about, is gaming good for kids?
Yes.
So you think about it in your brain. You think of the opinion that you have, and then maybe we can talk about it next time. Okay, so right now you can do your typing. What's it called? Nitro type. So Joyce, you can do nitro type. Joyce? Oh,